Don't you
Hindi
get
again, you
more
can zone out.
anxious though now if you listen to news and go to sleep?
So for
नींद उड़
me, it's
जाएगी.
literally background. हाँ,
Oh.
but yeah.
चैन से
I mean,
सोना
I
है तो
wouldn't put.
जाग जाओ.
हाँ, और रिपब्लिक टीवी मत देखो.
Hello and welcome to Senti-Mental, a show that is all about feelings. तो आज मैं शुरू करना चाहती हूँ एक छोटे से किस्से से. ये कुछ महीनों पहले की बात है. मैं काउंसलिंग सेशन के लिए एक थेरेपिस्ट के पास गई थी और वहां जाते ही उन्होंने मुझसे पूछा, हाउ आर यू फीलिंग? एंड ऑल आई सेड वाज, आई एम ओके. When I really needed to tell her that I am feeling lonely, but I didn't have the courage to say it. So I just said, I'm okay. And what she said next really blew my mind. She said, okay is not a feeling. So let's try this again. How are you feeling, Helly? And isn't this true for all of us? हम सभी भी अपनी लाइफ में जब कोई हमसे पूछता है हाउ आर यू फीलिंग, तो हम कहते हैं आई एम ओके, आई एम फाइन. या तो हम अपनी फीलिंग्स को पहचानते नहीं या उन्हें बताने से डरते हैं. स्पेशली इन लास्ट कुछ महीनों में जहां हम सब अपने घर पर थे, कुछ लोग अकेले भी थे, हमारे लिए बहुत मुश्किल था इस चीज को आंसर करना. हम कतराते थे जवाब देने से. And the truth is, we all felt lonely at some point in these past few months. So let's talk about it today. सुना है एक सच्चा दोस्त आपकी हर बात सुनता है. इसलिए अक्सर रातों को जब सब सो जाते हैं, मैं अपने कमरे की दीवार पर लगे उस छोटे से लाइट बल्ब के नीचे एक कप चाय लेकर बैठ जाती हूँ और उन दीवारों को अपनी सारी कहानियां पूरी रात सुनाती हूँ. धीमी सी आवाज में दीवार के कान में वो सब दोहराती हूँ जो कोई और नहीं सुनता, पर ये दीवारें बड़े ध्यान से सुनती है. Today we have with us someone who will make you laugh no matter what you're going through, and that is Saurav Mehta. Hi,
Hello,
Saurav.
everyone.
Hello.
Hi. I don't know why I said hello, everyone, Helly. I'm just used to doing shows where I have to say hello to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, reality has changed so much. But how?
Yeah, no, that's how I feel. Right now, I'm feeling pretty good because I have someone to talk to. Who knows? After an hour, or if this conversation is bad, I might start feeling horrible again.
Okay.
So just the pressure's on you, Haley. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, the pressure is hitting me. But
Yeah.
I would want to ask you, because you mentioned this, I mean, we're all sort of living in isolation right now. Lockdown की वजह से भी, और अब तो unlock हो रहा है, लेकिन फिर भी we're all scared of just stepping out of our homes. So how has it been for you? Like, how has it been? Because you were not living with your family right now. You, I think, are living with a roommate.
Yeah, I live with like two flatmates, but like we all do our own thing mostly. So lockdown's been, I think, like most people, it's had its ups and it's had its downs. Ups because just relative to what the world is going through, I feel like you just often feel like this is not something I should crib about. And downs, I think the only issue with the downs during this time is that when the downs come, the escape route is a little tougher than usual, right? Like sometimes maybe you can just step out or like do anything, right? I can call like you, I mean, you won't pick up, but like I'll call some other friend and they'll pick up. You can do that. But yeah, so it's had its ups and downs. I would say ratio wise it's been 70-30. 70 good, 30 bad, which is I'm lying, guys.
Which is
it's
not
100 0. No.
Sorry?
I think I'm lying. No.
I feel like we think that, oh, it's not that bad considering like everyone's situation, what everyone's going through. But this is what happens. Like when we start feeling things that are feeling emotions that are quite negative, we start thinking, but it's like we're trying to be grateful, but we also indirectly end up comparing our feelings with like other people's and be like, oh, I'm better off, But like I think there is no metric for it only at this point. Ki, like what is better than someone, what is worse.
Dude, if I were to play devil's advocate, that's honestly one of my issues with Karuna. Is that every time I feel like bad or I'm cribbing, there's just so much guilt that like, and it's a first world problem, of course, but I'm saying it's true, right? Like, and I'm not like of course, the one thing is the drastic like comparison, right? Like, look at others, people have genuinely lost their jobs, everything and all. But even like when you're talking to your friends, right? Like, even then the guilt comes in. So, which is, I guess, it's okay. Because I don't want to sound like a first world douche who's like,
No,
oh, I
I mean,
can't
I
live.
get it. Like, I think it's important to talk about it also. Of course, understand like when to
Yeah,
talk about it, but this is a good time to talk about it
yeah,
because
yeah.
that's what this is about. But sort of tell us, like, when I'm saying us as if like I'm sitting in an audience, but tell us when you felt lonely, like the last time you felt lonely. Did you sort of acknowledge it and talk to people about it? Yeah, like you kept it to yourself.
Okay, so I do acknowledge it to myself, as my therapist has taught me after I paid her a lot of money. So you have, like, I think the problem is, like, I've told you maybe before, that I over acknowledge. Like, I want to now go back to the younger Saurav, which is just like, chalna, hatna, dekh lenge. Okay. There's too much acknowledgement. And when it comes to loneliness, like, I'm not the guy who, like, if I feel lonely, I have to go talk to someone all the time. Unless, like, I think that way, just to give context to you and like hopefully the few people that are listening, it's just that because I was like the only child, plus I've like been living away from home since I was 18 and now I'm 30, guys. I know it looks like it. I know I said it looks like it. But so the thing is, I'm kind of used to it. Like, I have my coping mechanisms, and I only reach out to people when I feel like, okay, it's reached a level where I need to talk to people. I need to get it out there. Sometimes you just want to vent, right? So I'll maybe just send a voice note to some of my friends saying, listen, it's not a big deal, but I'm just feeling this. I need to get it out. And so, yeah, so that way, like, that's how I generally handle it.
Mine has been very opposite, where like I've grown up with a sibling, then I've always like lived with people, and that's why like now when I have to live alone, it really like I have to really mentally prepare myself. Ki also, like, of course, loneliness and living alone are two different things, but they can coincide when you've been by yourself for too long. So
Yeah.
like you said that, one of your coping mechanisms is reaching out to friends when it gets too much. So is that something that you do, like when things get out of hand, is when you talk to someone, or do you usually also are able to talk about this?
No, I mean, I can talk about it with my friends about anything at any point, honestly. Uh, but generally, like, I would reach out to them, like, actively saying, guys, need to get on a call or something like that. When it's kind of like I'm feeling basically just too sad. You get it? Like,
Right.
I need something else. Uh, yeah, that's about. I mean, I can talk about it in general, but as a comedian, of course, I think that stereotype is true where like, you don't want to talk about your feelings to any and everyone.
Yeah.
Like I think it's a little more normal for like regular human beings that just to start off with like a, hey man, I'm feeling like this. Like, with comics, there is that you do feel vulnerable. Also, you're kind of insecure because as a comedian, you're always in a way going for jokes, and when it becomes true
Yeah,
feelings, you're
I was
like, what
actually
am
gonna
I?
get to that.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, so but
yeah.
I asked this because I have this thing कि जब मुझे ऐसे lonely feel होता है तो मुझे पता है कि मुझे लोगों से बात करनी चाहिए, so that will help me. That's basically the opposite of being feeling lonely. But then I end up pushing people away all the more in that at that point because I'm feeling lonely. So you end up like going much more into your shell. That's why I asked
Yeah,
you, like, you
yeah.
generally just like are able to reach out, because some people aren't, like they really need somebody to come and talk to them instead of actually taking that initiative and going and talking. So that also
I mean,
happens.
of course, like, there are times when maybe I mean, in hindsight, I'm like, I should have reached out earlier. But in general, to be quite honest, I'm pretty good at it because, uh, like, it's like, how do I put it? Like, for me, it's like a instant red flag when, like, I'm used to handling things on my own. Okay, and the moment I'm not able to, I know that, okay, something has something has gone off the tracks type. So then I know that I need some sort of intervention, and it's not even friends. Like, sometimes, honestly, and it's going to sound like such a mama's boy, but like I'll just call my parents, okay, like my mom or my dad, and just like, yeah, so anything like that kind of helps.
Yeah. The thing that you said about being a comedian. So, like, this happens with me also. Ki as an artist, I often end up writing about things or looking at things like as content. So, does this happen with you where, like, you've been feeling lonely and instead of processing that feeling, you end up writing jokes about it?
No, like I'm sorry, in the sense that like that's I have a similar way of coping what you're saying, okay, where I'll take the situation and I'll start doing other things with it. Okay, like I'll start walking around, I'll think about it, like basically what you're doing is you're writing that, right, in a content way. What I'll do is I'll take a similar situation in my head and like play it out, in the sense that uh, how do I put it? Like you're essentially trying to cope, right, or distract yourself.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you're
Right.
going through something major and then you're just like, okay,
Yeah.
this could be a good story, but like, I am really dying right now. It's that feeling.
Okay. Yeah. That with I think personal issues doesn't happen with me that much. Like if I am going through like uh, yeah, like the most I can imagine is maybe I'll give us some TED talk one day and be like, guys, I was really going through some low times, but then I came up and I became Elon Musk. Uh, Yeah, like if you notice my jokes also, sorry, just because you mentioned that, which is one thing that I need to maybe work as an artist is, uh, I don't think I'm still comfortable or at that level where I can get super personal, because I just don't think I have the skill to tell the audience. Because, yeah, so
Okay.
this
Okay.
became like a joke related answer suddenly, but yeah,
No, but I mean, that was a question, so
yeah,
it's okay.
yeah,
Because I think, like, just say, for all of us as artists, the first biggest inspiration is our own life.
live,
So we
yeah,
do end up like writing a lot of things that are related to our lives. And
yeah,
yeah, that does involve us being vulnerable on stage,
yeah,
like in
yeah,
one way or another. I mean, some people will laugh at it, and some people
yeah,
will, I mean, in my
will
case,
laugh,
will probably
yeah,
snap fingers and feel sad
yeah,
with me.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
you've said that you've grown up alone, so you're pretty used to isolation. But like that can also be very difficult for most people. Like I know that I was supposed to live alone like for a few months, and in that period in time, like I had to mentally prepare myself for weeks
For it.
beforehand. Ki, okay, I'm
Yeah,
gonna live alone, and this is how it's
yeah.
gonna go. I need a routine, and so all of
Mhm.
that. So like, is there something that you think you do, या कुछ ऐसा जो लोग कर सकते हैं when they have to sort of live alone for a while so that they don't give in to loneliness?
I think first step is, and it's going to sound like a very basic thing, is like you were saying, you got to figure out what kind of a person you are. Okay, like you said, you need that mental preparation, blah blah blah. So just figure. I feel the biggest problem is a lot of people are under like delusion that they are some other type of a person. Okay, so first step is figure that out, and second thing is, uh, anytime you're feeling lonely or like say you're getting into like a rut or like I think it's just important to make yourself do something else. I am a big fan of distracting or like going into some sort of escape at some point. And it can be anything. You can play cricket, you can watch something, you can go down, listen to music, do yoga, go for a shower, whatever. But just get yourself out from, like, if we're sitting here and I'm sad, if I just sit here and continue, I'll just, be sad forever. So one is that. Second is, I think you have to have two or three friends that you don't feel like you can just call or message at any time, or just drop a VN and feel no shame or guilt. Uh, so I think it's important to have like at least two or three friends like that. And last thing would be, if you're feeling lonely, also be aware of who you're reaching out to, in the sense that we all have a range of friends, right? Some friends are not right for some situations. Some friends are great for some situations. So be aware. Don't always go to your best friend.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to go to that friend who just loves life, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, like,
Like
figure
sometimes you
that out.
don't need life advice, you just need someone to make you laugh or just to hear you out. So you need to know कि
Yeah.
किससे बात करनी है.
Yeah. Sometimes you literally like just want to call up a friend and bitch. Okay. Sometimes you just want to call up a friend and just rant, and you need, like you're saying, right? You need that friend who listen to you for 20 minutes and be like, bro, you're right. And you know he's lying, he or she's lying to you, but that's what you need. So yeah.
Have you ever ended up like doing something very weird out of loneliness? Like I know this one time, which is during this lockdown, that I was feeling very lonely, and this was like April, okay, so you can't really go out anywhere. तो
Anyway.
मैं मतलब एक ही जगह थी जहाँ मैं जा सकती थी, which was a terrace. Plus at the time I was not living at my house. I was at a friend's place because I'd gotten stuck in this commute thing. मतलब borders बंद हो गए थे वगैरह. So my only escape was like to go to the terrace of the building, and it was almost like the sun was about to set, and all I did was put music on and I was dancing on the terrace. Like there was nobody else. And I was dancing, and I could see like people in other buildings like standing in their balconies and stuff, but I didn't give a shit. Like I was just like, they can't see me from there. It doesn't matter. And like just like that was me trying to cope, and it made me feel good to have enough space to dance. Because when you're living at someone's also, you don't really have your own space. So, which is okay, but yeah, like, so that was the weirdest thing that happened with me out of loneliness. What about you?
Similar thing where I put on music, and this was like in Hyderabad, not like recently, but I just, because weirdest, I just put music and I just started walking. Like I got out of my house, and at that time, remember that iPod Shuffle used to be there. This is way long back, and I just put it on and I just started walking because, I was feeling like low, and it's just, and then I just kept walking, dude. For like, I took one footpath, and then I just kept like walking, and then I think eventually must have walked like some 3, 4, 5, 6 kilometers, and it's maybe the weirdest, strangest thing. I'm not a person who generally does like weird, and I'm not saying it in a showing off way, because it's just, I'm so like, like how middle class people, nahi, itna nahi karna chahiye. Like, Ari, calm down. What is this behavior, puja types, But yeah, so that's my lame, crazy thing that I have done.
No, but like I love walking, so I can totally relate to that. Like, and so the other thing.
Haley, sorry. Just going back to that tips that you were asking, this is another thing. Please go for walks. Like when, like, just put some music, find a safe road, and go for a walk. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's actually, that makes sense, because I feel like I like the sound of traffic and all of that when I'm feeling lonely, because any sort of background sound makes me feel like I'm not alone. So those people who live in like smaller towns, like I'm also from a smaller town, and my parents always tell me कि Bombay में इतना तुम्हें क्या पसंद है, मतलब ऐसे में Bombay में क्यों रहना है, and all of that. But the thing is, it gets so quiet in a small town after a certain time, and here that's not the case even at like 2 in the night. And for us conflicted, like the age that we are at, like we're all so conflicted and there's so much chaos in our heads that the outer chaos feels nicer,
Amazing. Dude, all sort of background, I totally agree with this, really. All sort of background music I love. Like even when, like, I'm just sitting in the room sometimes, and like this, I mean with everyone, right? Something or the other's always playing.
Except for when you're shooting. Except for when you're recording something. I love background noise.
All the time. I have something on. Dude, even when I'm going to sleep, unless like I'm listening to like some headspace kind of meditating music or something, I will always have something on. As something as boring as CNBC also on. Just so that I, want to like just go to sleep with some music. Background.
जब हम सोने जाते हैं तब सबसे ज्यादा lonely feel करते हैं, especially when we're sleeping, when we have our own room. Like ऐसे I would hate to share a space, but like when it comes to going to bed, अकेले सोना is like the most difficult phase that you go through. So तभी to have something calming, I'm sure it's better.
Dude, so that time though, I do the opposite, where that time I need noise, because I'll tell you the problem with meditative music is you'll start thinking again, right? It calms you down, you'll go into that. So when I am like literally like legit going through a very bad like phase, then I need noise. I need like some movie, I need some like news. I love news, dude, because it's very real, like it's live. Yeah, it's like people talking.
Don't you get more anxious though now if you listen to like news and go to sleep? नींद उड़ जाएगी.
Literally background. हाँ, but yeah.
चैन से सोना है तो जाग जाओ.
हाँ, और Republic TV मत देखो. But yeah.
This is the cheerful way I've spoken about loneliness in. वरना generally loneliness की अगर बात होती है तो लोग sad होते हैं. But this has been like, it's been fun. It's been entertaining in that sense.
But I think this is, and I know the interview is coming to an end, but I think this is also the thing, right? As performers, we are used to switching on thoda and switching off.
Yeah.
Right? Like literally before the Zoom call started, it's not that we're talking about different things, but we do have a different energy, which is also sometimes very, dude, there are some days, and last thing, Helly, okay, we'll wrap it up.
No, go ahead.
There are some days when like I'm doing a comedy show right here, right? I will come on for 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, it's going great. And literally the thing is off and I'm like, fuck now. Like, you're back to sad, you're back to loneliness.
I know. I think performing and doing these like live sessions with people has been the most alive I have felt during the past few months, because every living in, like I was saying that I was living with my parents like in small town, and also it's so quiet. So the second I shut that audio or my laptop, it is dead silent. So I used to love being in that vibe where I feel like मेरे साथ और 40 लोग बैठे हैं, हम सब बात कर रहे हैं, 50 लोग हैं, whatever the number is. So definitely, I totally relate to that. Matlab,
Silence
that has been a coping mechanism also, doing what you love, performing for people. That is also somewhere it comes from there only. So But okay, so to end with, I have this question that I always ask. And I want to ask you. I'm saying always, like I've asked it 100 times already. But so I feel like this, being sentimental is something that's often like looked down upon, because people are either shy to express their feelings, or they're just like they've not been conditioned to express. So I mean, is there anything that you sort of practice, or any idea that you have that can help us like embrace our emotions, like for everyone?
I think this is my point of view. Okay, of course, I mean, like I can be wrong. I feel when people talk about expressing themselves and being themselves, I feel like a lot of times they think that is just restricted to putting out a post on social media. Okay, but I think truly expressing yourself is recognizing and realizing like what you're feeling and expressing that with respect to yourself and your friends and everything like around you honestly. So what I mean by that is a lot of times people, like I feel angry, okay, but my angry or like say when I'm irritated, I'm like, you see me, I barely post anything on social media, right? Because that's not my way of expressing. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. So I would say the key, what I'd like people to focus on is just realize when you're sad, recognize when you're happy. That is more important than, me coming and telling Helly that, Helly, I'm feeling very, because if I don't have the recognition also, I feel like most people just live in denial, right? Like they'll think that they are not getting happiness because of like say XYZ, when the issue might just be something as basic as they're feeling I'm underpaid. Okay, but then manifests into different things. So I feel expressing yourself, I think the thing that I focus more on is genuinely trying to figure out what am I that I'm really feeling, and then like that for me is expression. I know it sounds like does it make sense?
It makes total sense. I think that's something that I find myself like I believe in it too, that it's very difficult to I mean, sometimes we do reach out on social media to see like to feel like we're not alone, and that there are other people who are going through the same feeling. But it's very important to actually process it in person first before we go out and talk about these things. And that's why like sometimes it might take you a long time to process it, and then you might want to talk about it. But that is completely optional, and it's secondary. Like primary is like sort of understanding it on your own. So definitely, I think that definitely makes sense.
I agree.
Yeah, thank you so much, Saurav. This has actually been genuinely very informative and a lot of fun and entertaining for me. And I think we went to a lot of places, and it was genuinely a lot of fun for me. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Helly. Thank you for getting me. I hope your show doesn't end after this episode. But,
no. I hope I get to do more episodes with you also. So thank you so much.
100%. And bye guys. Thank you.
Bye.